Welcome to the Reschexpert blog, brought to you by www.rescheck.info. Today we want to talk to you about passing a Rescheck. This is a quick list of items that will cause your Rescheck to pass or fail. Slab insulation, wall R value, roof R value, basement wall R value, window U value, window SHGC, door U value, door SHGC. You want to know more about how each affects your Rescheck score, and Rescheck pass or fail grade? Read the Reschexpert blog below for an in-depth look at what items in Rescheck are essential to have an understanding of when trying to pass a Rescheck. Pass a Rescheck. Today on the Reschexpert blog, we want to talk to you about some of the concepts that you need to know to how to pass a Rescheck. If you have ever worked with the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory and the Department of Energy's Rescheck softwares, then there's some items that you might not know. Rescheck Web and Rescheck Desktop have some red lines built into them that can result in your Rescheck passing or Rescheck failing. So, in this Rescheck blog post, we want to discuss the intricacies of passing a Rescheck. The following are a list of items that can make your Rescheck pass or fail. Slab insulation, wall R value, roof R value, basement wall R value, window U value, window SHGC, door U value, door SHGC. Now, let's take a look at each example and talk a little bit more about each item as it pertains to your everyday Rescheck. Slab insulation has been a big topic in the field of Rescheck over the past few years. In years past, the Rescheck softwares, Rescheck Web and Rescheck Desktop, would allow the home's building envelope to work as a system when generating a pass or fail score. In a recent update, the rules were changed. Now, if your climate zone requires slab insulation, you can no longer use it as a trade-off. You must install the slab insulation or your Rescheck will fail. An everyday example would be that in a climate zone requiring slab insulation, you could add more insulation to your roof, walls, windows, doors, and then lessen the amount of insulation needed in your slab. This is no longer the case. If your climate zone requires your slab to be insulated in Rescheck, you must have it on your Rescheck report and installed either horizontally or vertically in your slab, no exceptions. So, if your Rescheck is not passing and everything else looks legit, then the slab insulation will be the first area that I check to get your Rescheck back on track. Wall R value is another big area. The most common insulation values I see in Rescheck are 13, 15, 19, and 21. The major differences in 13 and 15 are typically installed in 2x4 walls, and 19 and 21 are installed in 2x6 walls. So once you cross the threshold from 2x4 to 2x6 walls, the entire cost of your framing packages increases on your home. One caveat is that with some brands of closed cell spray foam having an R value near 6.5 per inch, you can still achieve R19 in a 3.5 2x4 wall cavity. Either way, the R value is what's important in Rescheck software, whether you're using bat, spray foam, sheet wool, or mud. And hey, the determined R value is what is entered into software and calculated in Rescheck software. In some climate zones, anything less than R19 will cause a automatic failure. You will notice this because your project will fail by roughly 10%. If you change the wall R value from 15 to R19, it will move into passing territory. This is how you know that the wall needed R19 and the software will not accept anything less. Roof R value is much the same in Rescheck. The R values are different and greater. The most common R values are 30 and 38 and 49. Sometimes in Texas and South Carolina, we see R values as low as 21 and 19, creating a passing score. However, it's very uncommon. Same with a wall system and your roof system in Rescheck. It'll cause your Rescheck to fail if you don't have enough insulation for your climate zone. Tricky part comes down to the framing. Sometimes you do not have a ceiling rafter tall enough for an R49 bat. If you shop the proper closed cell insulation, you can get roughly 6.5 per inch, and even a 2x8 rafter system could possibly hold the R49 needed to take your Rescheck from passing to failing, or failing to passing. Basement R values are similar to above grade walls, so one difference is that you see a lot more continuous insulation than cavity. This is typically installed in 4x8 sheets. Common basement R values start at 11, go up to 21 in Rescheck, although you could have more or less depending on your climate zone. Again, if you leave your basement R value at 0, then chances are your Rescheck's going to fail. To pass your Rescheck, you should plan to start your basement R value at around R11 and work your way up from there. Windows and doors are calculated in Rescheck using their U value and SHGC. It's very important. I can't count the number of times someone sent me a window package that did not meet the state's criteria for Rescheck on their project. These are cut and dry pass and fail values. If you don't have a low enough U value or SHGC on your windows, the Rescheck will fail. Most common U values that we see on projects start at U.3, then they move their way down from there. Most state codes will only allow U values of 0.4 or lower, but it differs greatly from state to state and IECC code package. Be sure to get this information straight before you ever sign a window quote. Once you get over 0.3 U value in a window package, Rescheck can become increasingly harder to pass. So while you may think you're saving hundreds of bucks on a less efficient window package, you might find yourself moving from 2x4 to 2x6 walls in your framing package to compensate for the less efficient windows. Window and door SHGC has similar criteria. Typically, the standard is 0.25 or lower in many states. IECC codes. If your windows average over 0.25, the Rescheck software, Rescheck Web, and Rescheck Desktop will automatically fail your project, and they cannot be installed. If you check two items on your window and door packages, check your U value and SHGC before ordering. Without having a proper U value and SHGC on your windows and doors for your climate zone, your Rescheck will not pass. This concludes our in-depth look at how to pass a Rescheck and some of the most common items that might trip you up in a do-it-yourself Rescheck creator. We love looking at the minute details of Reschecks and Rescheck software, and then helping others create their own Rescheck using lessons we've learned on the front lines of our Rescheck service. If you're having trouble creating a Rescheck, then we can create it for you. With our Rescheck service, simply email your PDF plans, job site address, and square footage to service@rescheck.info, and we'll get you taken care of. If you're ready to order, just scroll to the top of the page, click the Buy Now button. That'll take you to the store, and you're going to order the first item there. That's your $79 custom Rescheck. Thanks again.